Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl here. Today we're going to try something a little different. Again, more different. I have a stainless steel tumbler that I got on clearance for $5 at Walmart. I have spray painted it with white primer paint from Walmart also. And after letting it dry for a couple of days, I am ready to try turning this into a gorgeous glittery tumbler. We're going to start by using the Tack-It Method, and it's called the Tack-It Method because we take some of this stuff, Eileen's Tack-It Over and Over. It's a glue product. Got it on Amazon. I'll link everything below. And diluted it, 1 part Tack-It to 1 part water, or 50-50%, however you want to say that. And I am going to use very, very, very little. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a brush, dip it in there, clean it off, don't need much, and we are going to slowly but surely paint all over our tumbler. I'm putting a little bit extra on in that spot, and I'm just going to smoosh it all around. Basically, I want to get a very thin coat all over the tumbler with no extra glops anywhere. It's easier to see if I used a different color spray paint to prime with, but this is what I had. I had white. Ideally, since I want to start by putting green glitter on this when I'm done, I would have gotten a green primer paint to spray on, and that way if the glitter doesn't cover every single bit, having the background color be the same as the glitter actually hides that problem or lack of coverage. But again, white is what I had. So we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. Just going to keep painting everywhere, all the way around. I got a little ding there this morning, unfortunately, but we're going to hopefully glitter over that and it won't make a difference. And then this takes about, 12-15 minutes to dry. The thing about the Tack-It means that it will dry. It won't be wet, but it will still be sticky. And that's when we're going to put on the glitter, is when it's dry but still sticky. And I am going to do my bottoms also. Going to do my bottoms. Here we go. Make sure everything has a thin, non-gloppy layer of the Tack-It Over and Over. You can always try putting the Tack-It on with a sponge applicator, like a makeup sponge, or one of those spongy brushes if you can find one that's small enough. You don't want great big glops. Alright, I'm going to set this aside. We'll be back in about 15 minutes to try glittering. See you then. Alrighty. About 15 minutes later, I wanted to show you the primer I used. That's it right there. And I discovered something interesting. I have green glitter, but I don't have green holographic glitter, which is a key to this look I'm going for. So I have some silver holographic glitter, and we're going to use that instead. And this is the decal I'm going to put on. This is the logo for the summer camp I used to attend in Michigan, Chippewa Trail Camp, finest camp in Michigan. And I am going to make a camp alumni tumbler mug. Alright, so 15 minutes later, here is our tumbler. It's dry. The brush strokes are gone, but it is still tacky, which is the whole point here. We want it to be tacky so that it holds the glitter. Now I put a piece of parchment paper down. You can use regular 8.5 by 11 copy paper, that's fine. And I'm going to get my shaker ready. Now this is not fine or super fine glitter, which I would prefer, but again, limited by Walmart. So it has one of these neato shaker tops. Let's see if I can, there we go. There we go. And we are going to shake this on, attempting to cover every spot. And the reason for the parchment is so I can pick up all the leftover that doesn't stick and put it back in the jar. Because glitter is not cheap. It's not expensive, but it's not cheap. And we're just going to keep going around, shaking our glitter out, shaking it off. The reason I haven't taped tape at the top here, there is a rim around the top of the cup that is stainless, not a color, and I want to leave it there. I think it looks a little classier than doing the entire tumbler. That's just a personal preference. You can spray and glitter and then epoxy, that's the next step we're going to do, the entire cup. You don't have to tape any part of it off if you want. Some people tape off the bottoms too so they don't have to deal with them. Bottoms are hard. Want to get the bottoms. Alright, looks like we got pretty much all our spots. Alright, so this Tack-It method that everybody talks about is a really cool process where, and we'll see if this works. I have never done this before. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I'll link a couple below that were especially helpful. I have never tried it myself. Supposedly this works with any glitter, any size, holographic or regular, but holographic has a neater look to it, I think. So we're going to take a couple fingers here, and we are going to lightly rub. And what we are doing, I don't know if you can see this, is we are flattening it out. And this would work a lot better if it were fine glitter, I think. These are little, got almost tubes. So they're not as inclined to lie flat next to each other as fine glitter would. But it's working okay. We're gonna just keep rubbing it here, and the idea is, like I said, to lay it down flat, so you're gonna end up with a much flatter surface. Okay. It would help if I had my reading glasses on so I could see how this is going. It looks pretty good, from what I can tell. It does seem like I'm knocking a lot off. I think that's partly because this is not fine glitter. But a lot of it's still sticking, and it is giving a beautiful holographic effect. I can't say it. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. It's going to be very, very pretty. Okay. I wonder if I added green at this point. A fine glitter. If that would make a difference. Let's see what happens. Put my glitter back in my jar. And we're going to get some green glitter and see if we can make a green embellishment going here. I mean, at this point, why not, right? Whee! That's interesting. There seems to be more glitter now than there was before. I wonder how that works. Pretty darn full. Okay, top back on. Here we have another great Walmart product, extra fine emerald green glitter. So we're gonna, there we go. We're gonna give that a try on top of our holographic. And I need to pop the tab out of this one too. Good enough. We have a hole. Okay, well, let's see what happens with the green. We're just going to be as liberal. There are spots available still for it to cling to. Get the bottoms, get the edges. And then we'll try the whole Tack-It thing again and see what happens. All right. You see that? It does seem to be working. I guess this is one way to make holographic glitter. If you don't have the right color, use the color holographic you have and then blend something else in. in theory. All right, so I'm doing a very light. I'm not pushing down real hard, just very light finger rubbing. Circular motion seems to help. That's how we're going for swirls this time, kids, because I don't actually have any swirls to put on this mug. All right. I have this on a turner. I'll show you briefly. I don't have it set up yet, but it is going to be, this is a really neat device. The PVC pipe goes in here and it will turn my mug slowly so that I can add the epoxy to it and have both my hands available to do so. The light green, it's got a nice flat surface to it. Okay, so now I'm going to put you guys on pause while I go outside to spray clear coat on this so that we don't lose any more glitter, and I will be back. Okay folks, I am doing an overdub here because I had to wear a respirator while I was doing the epoxy resin version of this. While I show you the first little bit of how I added a layer of epoxy, this is the KS resin. There's one part. Part A is the resin itself, and this is part B, the hardener. Equal parts by volume, mixed together in my cup. That's what I'm working with. That's an ounce or two of epoxy. I've got about 15 minutes of working time while it stays fluid. So during that time, what I'm going to do is pour it on slowly. I don't want it to all drip off, so I just put a little on at a time. And the tumbler turner keeps the tumbler moving nice and slow. And I just add epoxy and then I start smoothing it out. I also add it to the bottom. And really that's all I'm going to be doing. And it takes about, I don't know, it took me 15 or so minutes to do this. Here's the tool I use to spread it out. It's that I purchased from Amazon, like most things. Link in the description. And I'm just going to spread everything out, and I'll keep adding epoxy and spreading it out until I'm convinced that there is a nice layer of epoxy on the entire thing, including the bottom. And that's pretty much it. And then it takes about 12 hours to dry. Hey everybody, we're back. I put epoxy on our mug, our tumbler. I went ahead and I put a layer of epoxy on. It has dried overnight. It looks beautiful. I took the tape off about an hour after I finished the epoxy, because if you leave the tape on until the epoxy is fully dried and cured overnight, it will be bare to get off. So I came in here an hour after the epoxy had been going around on the tumbler, on the turner for a while, and I just very carefully pulled the tape off. Now I have that nice stainless steel rim. I will retape that before I put the next coat of epoxy on. Right now what I'm going to do is put the decal on, now that we have a nice surface for it. I'm going to put it on the opposite side from what's left of the logo that you can sort of see but not really. We'll just put it on the other side. And here's our logo. To remind you, it's going to go right about there. That's what it's going to look like. So what I did was I cut out the vinyl again using my Cricut in Design Space and pulled off the vinyl I didn't need from that. And now I put a piece of a clear transfer tape. Hopefully the transfer tape will come off. I really would like to do this right side up for me, so it's going to be upside down for you for a moment. I'm sorry. I'll turn it back around. It's just easier for me to see this way. Okay. There we go. Start in the middle. Rub that, and then we work our way out. Burnish it good. I don't want any air bubbles in there. A little scraper thingy from the Cricut folks. And I'll just burnish it good. Hopefully this will activate the adhesive on the back of the vinyl so it sticks nicely to the mug, or the tumbler. I keep calling it a mug. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. So far so good. Here we go. This did not happen when I tried it yesterday before the epoxy coat. And there it is. And it will look like this when it's all done, except with another layer of glass on top. So stay tuned. I won't make you watch me do that layer of epoxy. You've already watched one layer. And that was tedious enough, I'm sure. So I'll be back when the whole thing's finished to show you the end reveal. Hey folks, welcome back. Here's the big reveal on the very first tumbler I ever did. And that shows. I still like how it turned out. The logo came out beautifully. There is the top coat of resin that I did yesterday. Some problems I see. I lost a little glitter here. Even with the tape, most of the top rim is clear as I wanted it to be, uncovered by anything. That's the original tumbler under there. There are a few spots. I cleaned most of it up. There are a few spots still with a little extra epoxy on them. So yeah, if you look close, it's not perfect, but pretty good for first attempt. Thanks very much for checking in. See you in the next video.